Next year, Indonesia will stage parliamentary and presidential elections, the second such process following the domestic upheavals of 10 years ago. The country's profile internationally has changed.
Mr. Lamont, it's a real pleasure to follow the Indonesia has undergone a remarkable transformation in the last decade. It's made enormous progress, particularly on democracy and human rights, to become one of the most open and liberal societies in Asia. It has an active parliament that holds the government to account with a fully independent media. But Indonesia's presence on the international stage was not always felt, particularly bearing in mind it is one of the world's most populous countries with the largest Muslim community on the globe. In the last few years, Indonesia has begun to emerge as an international player.
Indonesia was a founder member of ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, in 1967. From the 5 founder members, the organisation has doubled in number, the last country to join being Cambodia 9 years ago. Their new charter seeks to develop further ASEAN's role internationally.
We are now in the middle of transforming ASEAN from a rather loose association into an ASEAN community, meaning that we are trying to attain a full ASEAN integrations by year 2015. That's why a new charter was signed last year, and new ASEAN economic blueprints also endorsed by our leaders with a view to develop an ASEAN as a single market, single production base with the free flow of goods, services, capitals and labours.
There is certainly a political dimension to the organisation. Myanmar, or Burma, has been a member for 10 years. Its controversial record on human rights has attracted international condemnation.
Burma will be the first test for a new ASEAN, one of its own members. Indonesia, once again, is playing a constructive role here, and we would encourage her to do more. Looking further into the future, we expect Indonesia to play a leading role in developing ASEAN into a regional trading and security body.
Indonesia has the world's largest Muslim population. It was a tiny minority who were involved in the Bali bombings of 2002. The Indonesian justice system has earned respect in bringing the perpetrators to court.
The trials were extremely important because, unlike the United States or some other Western democracies, Indonesia has made a point of abiding by the rule of law in arresting and bringing alleged terrorists to trial very quickly. And so most Indonesians got their news and information about a homegrown radical movement from these trials. It was an enormously important education for the Indonesian public, and it helped reduce the skepticism that there could be such a radical movement that was brought up inside Indonesia.
A strong area of UK and Indonesian cooperation concerns interfaith dialogue and investigating the origins of extremism.
One key to our success is that we balance our security interests with the democratic process and respect for human rights.
Indonesia's increasing profile internationally is reflected in its recent role in the UN Security Council. During this time, it contributed 1,000 troops as part of the UNIFIL, United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, contingent. It looks set to continue this role, as well as playing a leading role in ASEAN's political and economic development.